My name is Carlos Walker. This is Art and Hustle. Black Authors Matter normally, but today we got a special edition. This is the Financial Literacy Board Game. And today I'm here with Mr. Bostic Poindexter, founder of the Road to Financial Freedom. Peace and blessings, sir. How you doing?
I am doing great. How about yourself? Thanks for having me.
Man, I'm doing perfect, man. We woke up this morning.
Exactly. I feel the same way.
So, if you will, share a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay. So my name is Bostic Poindexter. I'm from Jackson, Mississippi. And I have so you know about Jackson, okay. And I have created a financial literacy board game to teach us about like how money actually works. What's not taught in school, not the boring lectures, but actually teaching how money actually works and how inflation affects all of us, whether it's from our food to our rent to houses or even owning assets, budgeting, everything. Everything is within this game and it's taught to teach people financial literacy and teach financial freedom.
Mm. So, we're going to start off with I guess would be the main question. What made you start or create this board game?
That is a great question. So when COVID happened, I remember being sent home from work and hearing a voice come across the screen saying, if you're not using this time to learn something, you're wasting your time. And I was like, okay. What I always wanted to learn about was learn about money. And so I started learning about money. I started watching all the TV shows. I started reading books. I started watching thousands of hours of YouTube just learning about money. And then over time, what I noticed was I started implementing it into my life. And my family started noticing the difference like, hey, look, how are you able to travel? How are you able to know so much about credit cards and how money works? And I said, I just been learning it. I immersed myself into the learning about money. And my aunt called me one day and she said, hey, do you know any new games that we could play for Thanksgiving? And that's when it clicked. I said, you know what? What I could do is I could create a financial or a game about money to teach you how money works. And so I ordered a blank board from Amazon and then I just got to work and I just started putting everything that I learned or everything I knew about money into this board game. And my family played it and they loved it. They were like, why don't we know this stuff? Why isn't this taught in school? So that's how all of this came about.
One, I want to thank you starting off for immersing yourself into financial literacy
Hmm.
or financial freedom.
Yes.
Because what happens, a lot of us, not just black people, but a lot of humans, period, are not financially literate. The school system does not teach it. It's almost like they're setting you up for failure. Yes, they teach you to count. Thank God. Yes, they teach you to read. But if in this system, if you do not learn how to manage your money, how to be a good steward with what you have been given, what happens is you'll find yourself in poverty or as a slave in this system. You'll find yourself working a 9 to 5 to pay bills, to pay rent, well, that's going to bills, food, and just the necessities, opposed to being able to, what's the word I want to use? Be able to commit yourself to a wealthy life. So thank you for that.
No, I appreciate it. And you touched on some great points in a lot of these aspects is one of the reasons why I created the game. And when I was thinking about the concept, the verbiage, the knowledge that was going into the game, I was thinking, what is a way that can teach people not to be slaves to the financial system, not to be caught up in the rat race, how to get out of the rat race. And that's where the name The Road to Financial Freedom comes from. And so all throughout the game, it's all about learning about because if you think about it, the game we're usually taught is Monopoly. The
Mm-hmm.
game we're usually taught is to go to school, go to college, get a
Go
degree,
get a
and
job.
then you get caught up in that system. Now it's to get the house, to get the car, but that costs money. But that
Mm-hmm.
keeps you in that system and you become a debt slave. And
Mm-hmm.
so what the road to financial freedom teaches you is to get away from becoming a debt slave and budgeting your money, saving your money, learning how the system works. Because once you get into that credit card debt, that's usually when they get you in college. And you don't know how the interest rates work, and you're paying the bare minimum or you're paying the minimum payment, and then the interest rates is piling up, it's piling up. So this tool is meant to have an impact on our community, and it's meant to get out of that rat race. You don't have to have a lot of money to be financially free. You just need to know how the rules of the game works, and that's what this game does.
I'm reading a book now. I've read it before, but I'm reading it to people online.
Hmm.
It's called The Richest Man in Babylon.
I think I've
Don't
heard of.
know. I was about to say, but don't know if you've ever read it, but you have heard of it. Being that we normally I do book interviews doing this, but thank God, uh, Casey actually brought you on for this purpose. One, I want to share with you. Yes, you have created the game, but take the game and add a book to it.
Yes, that
Books don't
that's
have to be
yes.
big. They don't have to be big. Small and powerful. Because you have already to create a game, you already know the steps. Now you just have to add some verbiage to break down the steps. Where even if they purchase the book, I mean, if they don't get the game, they get the book. If they don't get the book, they get the game, or they buy both.
Mm, I like that.
And what the book will teach them is because most of your knowledge either came through YouTube. So if you don't have a YouTube channel, you need one.
Yes, I have a YouTube channel.
Okay,
But
I
they,
need you to be talking because guess what? Oh, you have spent countless hours teaching yourself. That's the reason why you also created the game. But now it's time to teach others.
mm,
And online is one of the greatest ways because it touched a lot of people. And if it doesn't, it should touch many because most of us don't know. We're used to the habits of buy what you want. Once I get some money in my pocket, guess what? I'm going to get fly. They don't understand the language of sacrifice.
yes,
You do. This is the reason why you created the game is to help others get further. And
yes.
really a lot of young people because young people start playing games early. If they play this game and they get together, what happens is you create people who become uh what's the word? They get liberty.
Yes, I agree.
Not just freedom, but liberty.
I agree. I when thinking about what you said, when I was creating the game, I kept thinking to myself, what is something that I wish I knew when I was a kid, when I was growing up? Give me all of those rules, but give it to me in a way that I can understand it. Give it
Simple.
to me. Yeah, give it to because when learning about all this financial jargon and you hear words like interest rate and quantitative easing and like they say those words to make you be uninterested in it.
Hmm.
So what I did was took those words and I put them in words that we understand. Inflation, money printing. We know what those words mean. We don't live our lives listening to words like those quantitative easing type words. So putting that in a context that we understand for kids that can play it, and instead of starting out not even in the stadium, we're starting out on second base.
Come
That's
on now.
yes, that's the type of impact we're trying to have, a positive impact on the community.
Once again, you're probably gonna hear this a lot. Thank you. Being able to speak to people's language. I learned that they said if you can teach basically a kid, you can teach everybody.
Mm,
And what you did was broke language down where it's not difficult, where the layman person can actually can a person who didn't go to school, who hasn't studied, they can easily take in this information, play the game, and now apply. Because with the greatest thing that would say that you've done, you put it where they can put it into practice.
yes.
That's the reason why a game form for this is important because they learn the application of it, opposed to me just reading and taking in the information, but never knowing how to apply it. The game give them application.
Yes, I agree. I even put in the game where it's fun, and it's questions in the game that's like, hey, your friend, you borrowed some money from a friend and you never paid them back. Borrow $100 from the person right next to you, and so when you start the game out, you start out with a certain amount of money. So you end up learning how to budget. When can I buy a house? When can I invest? Or do I need to save this? I went to the bar or I went to the club and my card declined. What do you do? So you end up having to pay money to the bank. So it teaches you real life scenarios, real conversations where you actually are learning something when you're playing the game. And one of the most important features that I want to highlight that's within the game is the historical aspect. So the board pieces are actually black inventors or African American inventors that created things in America that we never knew about, like the Super Soaker, the lawnmower, the fire extinguisher. So all of these aspects are African American inventors. Those are the board pieces. But my favorite part is when you're playing the game and let's say you pull a question that says, "What is the highest credit score you can receive?" Let's say you and your friends are out playing the game, you don't know the answer. So what you can do is you scan the QR code and it pulls up the AI model, Harriet, just like Harriet Tubman. And
Mhm.
Harriet helps lead you to financial freedom by telling you the reason why you should know this, a fact, why it matters, and she also gives you a financial tip. So every time you play the game, you learn something new, and it's also reinforced with Harriet using AI in a positive way to help us.
Man, look, phenomenal.
Thank you.
Literally
Thank you.
phenomenal. One, uh, over the top, over the top thinking, because one you also use black inventors.
Hmm.
You brought us full forward into the game by allowing us to reconnect with things or people that we may not have known or things that we have created. Me, because I've studied Black history, I know a lot of the inventions, but a lot of our youth get to know this
Hmm.
because growing up, I'm 44. On my, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
39.
Okay, 39. We grew up technically in the same, around about the same time.
Hmm.
There wasn't a lot of books that told us that what we created.
Right.
It was there, but even our parents may not have known it. Certain people, only a few people really knew this, and that would have been people who may have been in school, who your teachers and everything. But guess what? They didn't even teach this stuff.
Hmm. I agree.
But even in your game, you are teaching Black history,
Hmm.
not just financial literacy, but you're teaching who created what.
Yes.
You're using everything to enlighten us of who we are as you play the game and to become a better version of us financially.
Yes. Most definitely. And like I tell people, the things that are taught within this game is the stuff you would never learn in school. It's the stuff you got to learn on your own, or you spend hours watching YouTube, reading books, or watching the jargon on TV, the financial jargon on TV. But it's the things that are not taught in schools. That's why it's called the road to financial freedom.
Now, where I'll ask this question later, where can we find the game?
Okay.
But have you been putting it or seeing if you can get it into schools?
Yes, that's an excellent question. So, I actually have a speaking engagement here in Dallas, Texas at Arlington High School, which is, well, it's not Arlington High School, it's in Arlington, but it's for kids that are in alternative school and kids that are at risk. So, I'll be going there talking to those kids, letting them play the game and showing them, like, look, I used to be in your shoes. I came from the hood, but look where I am now. Like, you don't have to let this define you. You can also become the person that you always want to be.
Right.
Yes. And then also, I'm coming to New Orleans on February the 23rd. I'll be speaking at one of the charter schools. I think it's called Sarah T. Reed. We'll be out there. demonstrating the game, talking to a financial literacy class, also showing them how the game works and letting them play, and just putting that knowledge into these kids, and hopefully seeing their growth over the years.
I want to add another component. See if you can get into colleges.
Yes, that's
hit all
next.
hit all the HBCUs up. See if you can become a lecturer, because they got money to pay for this. Um, High schools do too, but not as much. But them colleges, they got funds that they can actually pay you to be a speaker, to actually bring your game. The schools, hopefully, I'm hoping this, they will buy your game at uh an exceptional limit of it, where you say, well, you run out and they have to create more every time, because this is an important tool for our community, especially our community, all communities, but especially ours.
Yes, I agree. We have some conversations right now with a couple of HBCUs, but it hasn't transpired to anything yet. We actually are just getting started. We just launched on January the 6th. So this is,
Okay, this is the beginning of this.
yeah, this is the beginning. We're just getting started. So the word is just getting out. I hope people watch your podcast and they help spread the word. And, let's get this into universities. Let's get it into the people, in the hands of the people who need it the most.
Look, everybody need it.
Yes.
Once again, especially our community, it's time to rise above what we already know. It isn't like we haven't always been rising, but now with things, tools like this, it can
Yes.
take us to a whole different level. Because once
Mhm.
you are financially stable as a community, it's different.
Yes. And that's why I love the contrast of being the opposite of Monopoly, because I feel like our generation, me and you, we grew up playing Monopoly. So it's take everybody's money, don't care about the next person, don't help anybody out. If they land on your property, they owe you money. Like, that's how we grew up. Let's flip that and change all of that. Let's pull people up. Let's teach people what we know. Let's no longer gatekeep. Let's pull everybody up at the same time. And I think that we can do that.
And that's what this game teaches.
Yes.
That's powerful. That is powerful.
Yep.
So, before we go, I do want to ask that you leave a word of wisdom. And then last, let them know where they can purchase this game. Because, like I said, schools need it, people's homes need this. Because if you can grow with your family and everybody learn the information, and then their friends and people like you and your family played the game, them and their friends can play the game, the information get out word of mouth, the information get out so much faster.
Yes. Okay, I agree. My words of wisdom, and I've heard this from one of my mentors, and I think everybody should have a mentor. This is how you elevate yourself, is by having a mentor and somebody that's not trying to gatekeep. But the way to becoming a millionaire is to make someone else a millionaire. That's how, by networking, talking, uplifting people, bringing people up, recommending your friends that does the search, your friends that cuts grass. Like, make your friends millionaires. That's how you become a millionaire. Yes. And you can find the road to financial freedom on www.playfinancialfreedom.com. That's where you can purchase the game. Right now, we're on pre-orders. And then also you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Play Financial Freedom.
Look, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't do that enough. It's
Appreciate
things
it.
like this that reshape and change our community for the community we need.
Yes.
Not the monopoly thinking, but a road to financial freedom for not just me personally, but for my friends, for my community. So thank you for that.
Thank you. No problem.
And
Appreciate you for having me. And thank you for this valuable conversation.
man, it is look, all these conversations are important. And then y'all can look for that book coming soon too. The Road to Financial Freedom. Look, make sure,
You,
hey, I know he got
you're going to
this.
put some pressure, putting some more pressure on me. Look at you.
Look,
But
I know
yes,
this is
I
on the
definitely need to
way,
work on the
so
book.
I'm gonna let y'all know that y'all look for the book. I'm gonna say 6 months to a year. Be getting ready to order, not order, just order the game, but the book as well.
Yes.
Love y'all. My name is Carlos Walker. This is Art and Hustle. Hey, the Road to Financial Freedom edition. This is Bostic Pondexter. Peace and blessings. Love y'all.
Thank you. Appreciate it.